Is there only 5 of us?
Yeah, all the 4 of us, yes, so far. And okay, well, welcome to our TOPS meeting. We'll start, I'll mute you for the pledges, and then you can unmute yourself. Okay. Start with the TOPS pledge. I am an intelligent person. Will control my emotions and not let my emotions control me. Every time I am tempted to use food to satisfy my frustrated desires, build up my injured ego, or dull my senses, I will remember I will take off pounds sensibly. COPS pledge. I am an intelligent person. I will control my emotions, not let my emotions control me. Every time I am tempted to use food to satisfy my frustrated desires, build up my injured ego, or dull my senses, I will remember I am to be an example as I keep off pounds sensibly. Okay, you can unmute yourself, and we will start our meeting. The this week's meetings will be from the Blue Book. We're going to start. I figured we'll start on chapter 1 because if we're in the last 2 months of the year, and if you need to make some changes, let's go and refigure all your stuff, like figure out your caloric needs and stuff like that, and review. Like Wednesdays will be selecting the plan. Maybe the exchange system isn't working so much for you anymore. Maybe try the Canadian plan or the My Plate plan. So any changes you need to do to go out with a bang have 2020 go out in a bang. Let's make it happen. Okay, it's chapter 1, basic balanced eating nutrition basics. Okay, the very front page, the title page, it has eating well is both an art and a science. Did you ever wonder, what should I eat to lose weight? Why does it matter when I eat a cup or matter when I eat or if I skip meals? Why are there 700 calories in ice cream parfait and only 50 calories in a cup of carrots? I wish they were reversed. I really do. What is a calorie anyway? Well, those questions all have to do with the science of eating, and the answers are in the pages of this book. Use my nutrition prescription in page 6 to learn to apply the science of your everyday life. Did you ever wonder who in the world eats the recommended servings of fruits and veggies every day? I have yet to hit that. Maybe once this year. And more importantly, how am I ever going to summon the self-control to become one of these people? The answer to the question is you don't have to. You can still eat foods you've always loved and blend them with a tasty variety of good for you foods you didn't know you liked or didn't think you could prepare without a lot of hassle. You can find ways for eating well that work with your personal tastes and lifestyles. That is an art you can learn to master over time, one choice at a time. In this book, you can find practical tips, activities, and worksheets to help you do that. And all that says is all foods fit. You just have to figure out how to make them fit. Okay. A woman who has struggled with her weight for years approached her trim neighbor while they were on a walk. You never seem to have to worry about your weight, the woman said. You should consider writing a diet book. A diet book? Make sure somebody texted me. Make sure nobody wants to get in. Yep. A diet book, the neighbor replied, well, that would be the most boring book in the world. Page 1 says eat less. Page 2, exercise more. End of story. How could I possibly sell that? Eat less and exercise more. How many times have you heard this seemingly simple, yet utterly complex piece of wisdom? If losing weight and maintaining a healthy weight were really as easy as eating less and exercising more, wouldn't we all be at our ideal weight all the time? And what is it that even though we know that what we put into our bodies and what we burn off impacts our weight, the scale doesn't always reflect our good intentions. Yes, you could think we did really, really well and exercise really, really well, and the scale fails us. I hate those days.
Yep.
In this chapter, we will unravel the mystery of the food and nutrients that make up our daily meals and snacks. You will see that the food you eat contain a combination of important nutrients that your body needs. Instead of concentrating on simply eating less, we need to focus on eating better. Counting calories. Who counts calories and who counts as exchanges? I do both. Anybody else?
I counted calories for about 4 days, a few weeks back. So I'm going back today to doing that because I did better that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it on paper, what I actually did. I've been writing it down, but not counting calories. So.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tammy,
I
do
think
you
if
do
I
exchanges?
did calories, I would really mess myself up because I can't really understand how to do it. So I do
Right.
the exchange system.
Mhm.
I do the boxes.
Right, right. Marlene, what do? You do calories or exchanges or neither?
When I do write it down, I do more towards the exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
But I like writing them down because I can visually see I've missed a whole group at a time.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Milk or something, I could go days without milk, and then I can visually see that. Whereas
Right.
calories, I could still be within my day's worth. Like Stella, I know you said that works for you, and that's great. For me, I could hit the right numbers, but it wouldn't be the right combination.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
So-
when I was doing basically introducing my grandson to the exchanges and my daughter, and he's like, how are we going to shuffle the cards today? It's like, and we always seem to forget those fruits and veggies, or we'll hit the fruits and forget all about the veggies. It's like, we were
Yeah.
bad that way. It's easy to forget the veggies. I mean, they're not a whole lot of calories for one exchange. I mean, it's only 25 calories, but you can have a lot of veggies in that little 25 calories. You can really fill yourself up. Okay. Okay, counting on calories. That's a try. We're talking about Twinkies. Okay. In 2010, a nutrition professor at Kansas State University embarked on a very personal study of human nutrition. In an effort to show that calories do count, Professor Hub ate Twinkies.
Mm.
I used to eat Twinkies. Now they're just too sweet.
I-
He ate a lot of Twinkies, one every 3 hours instead of meals to be exact. Ooh,
Oh.
talk about tummy ache. In order to keep things interesting, he would occasionally substitute Twinkies with other cakes and cookies, tortillas, and high sugar cereals. I want to see his cholesterol test results after eating all this. In the end of his 2-month trial, Mark lost 27 pounds. How? By eating Twinkies. And his point, Professor Hub wanted to show that merely cutting calories back from 2,600 to his pre-Twinkie days to 1,800, while on his convenience store diet, weight loss will ensue. In addition, the professor also saw his bad cholesterol decline and good cholesterol increase, and his triglycerides drop by 39%. Yeah, he's not eating any red meat. Well, I mean, I can see that he's not eating a lot of fats except for processed. What this goes to prove, other than you can lose a lot of weight doing some very unhealthy things that will damage your body over the long haul, well, it proves that calories count. If the Twinkie diet story doesn't convince you, take a look around your own environment. Wherever you run, you'll face with many opportunities to eat, from the high sweetened calorie drinks at a local cafe, 150 calories for a cup of coffee at Starbucks. If you're just getting a latte but a frappuccino, we're talking 500. to the finger foods at a friend's house, to the bag of chips staring you in the face at the gas station, to the bowl of cereal calling out to you after dinner. No matter where you are, you're never alone because the calories are always there. So the calories do add up. According to the CDC, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, it is now estimated that 2/3 of the adults are overweight or obese. This doesn't happen overnight, and you don't go away. Doesn't go away overnight. To be certain, the first step getting a healthy weight is to acknowledging that calories do count. Understanding these calories can benefit you is the key to achieving optimal nutrition. Calories equal energy. If you don't have enough fuel, you run out of gas. And calorie is our energy. Calculating your calorie needs. How many who recalculates how many calories you need as you lose weight? Like every 10 pounds or whatever. Have you ever recalculated since you started Tops, figured out your calorie intake
No,
again?
I can't do an 1800 calorie.
Right.
No. And I'm not even doing a 1500 calorie.
Mhm.
It's probably a 1200.
Mm-hmm. But have you actually gone like on the Tops website and figured out going in your body size? I'm a large body size according to the size of my wrist.
So they'll tell you how many calories you should be eating?
Well, they'll tell you a range. They'll tell you a range of what your calorie, what your optimal diet, whether you're maintaining or
Isn't there a
losing
formula
weight.
for that? Your body weight times 15.
Well, no, the calorie calculator, which is page 5 of the Real Life Guide, it says the rule of thumb approach to determining calorie needs. First, ask yourself, do you want to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight? So
Right.
step 1 would be get your weight in kilograms, and then divide.
Oh, do you
To
divide
get it in kilograms, divide it by 2.2. Let me get my phone out and see if they
I was always
get
told
my
to take your
calculator
body weight
out.
now. Take your body weight now and multiply it by, or divide, I'm not sure which it was, but by 15, and you would get what you were how many calories you were eating just to maintain.
Maintain would be. We'll figure this out. Well, I'll put mine in. 0.4 divided by 2.2 is kilograms. Okay. I like that number. I'm only 67 kilograms. I like that number. And then if you want to lose weight, times by 20 to get the calories. Maintain weight, which is what I want to do, times. So if you want to lose weight, multiply your weight in kilograms by 20 to 25 calories. If you want to maintain, times by 25
You
to
believe this.
30.
No, but if you do what I just said, and this has never made sense with my leader, for what I weigh, it'd be 2,835 calories I'm eating a day too. That's what I ate.
Did you
Last week.
take your weight and put it to kilograms?
No, I don't know
Take
how
your
to.
weight,
You have to
Tammy,
do the kilograms.
divide it by 2.2 and then times it.
Okay, I know your weight. Oh, yeah.
I'm dropping.
So what are you now? And I'll figure it out for you.
189.
Divided by 2.2. You want to lose or gain or maintain?
I would rather find out how to lose.
Times 20. 20. It says without exercise to lose weight 1,718 calories.
Yeah.
If you exercise, it would be exercise
Exercising, so
2,100.
Yeah.
But I mean 1,700 is what this calculation recommends.
Isn't there a
I'm not
calorie?
eating enough. I'm not eating enough.
That is correct. Remember,
Mhm.
we start gaining weight if we don't eat enough.
Isn't there a calorie calculator on the Tufts website?
Yes, it is. And this is basically in writing. Yes.
Okay. You
So
just-
mine is,
But you don't have to figure all that. You just put in your weight and height.
and they do that all itself. Yeah, and they also, the weight but this just includes, takes into account your weight times
I gotta spend more time
25.
on this website.
So 25, so 1,600 and 2,000. Yeah, mine comes out because I'm maintaining between 1,600 and 2,000. My Fitness Pal put me at 1,900, so I'm good. I just need to
Mhm.
make sure on my days that I'm not exercising, I can't eat like I am taking an 2-hour hike. I gotta put that down. But yeah, this shows, and you can also, like you said, go onto the website and just put your height and weight, and they also take into account your body frame size. I'm a large body frame size, and but I never,
Body frame size? I don't believe that.
yeah, I have a large wrist. I have
No.
a large body frame. Like my daughter's a small body frame. She's got a tiny wrist.
I would consider myself to be medium.
Well, just go on the website. It'll tell you to measure your wrist. I
Oh,
have a like 7.5-inch wrist. I'm a large body frame.
Mm-hmm.
But and you can also do, there's also on page 6, nutrition prescription. You go in, you put your today's date, your weight today, your goal weight. Then it'll breaks it down into what type of calories between carbohydrates, fiber, protein, fats, sodium, calcium, and of course alcohol intake. We like to have 0. Well, at least I do. Yeah, no. But it'll give you basically tell you how many exchanges you need, how many for your carbs and stuff like that. Okay, there's 4 sources. Any more questions about figuring out how many? I never even thought until 3 years in that I needed to recalculate my calorie needs because I've lost so much weight. It never dawned on me. I was still going on what my original thing says to lose weight, and I was starving. So I figured it out because my activity level also went up. So I was eating like 1,200 calories, which I should be eating 1,600 calories. So I was basically starving. Okay, so there's 4 sources of calories: carbs, fats, proteins, and alcohols. Carbs, it's not only bread, which is the starches. It is also your fruits and vegetables that they are carbs. So if you're going a carb for, you're cutting out all your carbs, you're cutting out a whole lot of nutrients from your fruits and vegetables. And I've tried that. But my husband did the Atkins, and I tried the Atkins, and it's, basically no carbs. I do not have any energy. I mean, I could eat the meat, but my body wants the carbs. Okay, the macronutrient matters. Macronutrient matters. Calories give us the energy we need to keep our bodies functioning, but all calories are not created equal. You just calculate how many calories your body needs, and you can probably keep your calories within the range by eating fast food, junk food, salty snacks, and highly sweetened beverages from your calorie budget. The problem is you couldn't eat very much of these. You couldn't eat very much of these unhealthy foods because a double cheeseburger, I mean a McDouble at McDonald's, that's almost 400 calories, and that's very little food. The calories add up too quickly. Big Mac, 600 calories? A Whopper, 800 calories? It's like, and I love Whoppers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would be like half the food for the day. They add up so quickly that you would be left feeling hungry. Say again?
Well, not great for your cholesterol.
No, my cholesterol, yeah. My cholesterol, McDonald's, yeah, they don't mix well. So it would be, you would left feeling hungry and unsatisfied halfway through the day. I mean, you'd have lunch, I'd have a Whopper, and I'd be starving by 8 o'clock at night, but I've eaten all my calories for the day. This would lead to a greater likelihood that you would wind up eating more and eventually blowing your calorie budget and gaining weight. A weight gain causes increased feelings of hopelessness and failure. These feelings cause more emotional eating, and the cycle goes on and on and on. So let's break the cycle. One of the first steps in making smart food choices is to pay attention to nutritional facts of most packaged foods. My biggest problem with it's the combination foods that run me into a problem with the exchange. I mean, this book is great. The third chapter, it tells you how to count it, but if it's homemade, like a casserole and stuff, it helps you break in.
Right.
But it can be hard because I mean I have like my Kashi bars on it's like, okay, I know how it says like so many carbs in the fats and stuff like that, but then I read the ingredients, it's like, okay, that doesn't jive. It's like that's the hardest part, the processed foods that I don't eat a lot of, but how to break those into exchanges. I really need to go to a retreat, but they're not on this coast yet. They need to get back on this coast because I'm not, I don't want to travel too far. Okay, understanding the nutrition facts labels. The nutrition fact labels tells you a lot about the foods, and you can make sense of all the information by following these steps. 1, check the serving size. Those little bags of chips, they are 2 servings, if not more. So you can't have the whole bag if you're only going to count 1 serving. One way to determine how many servings they're actually eating from a favorite packaged food, such as cereal, is to pour the amount you usually eat and measure. No, I don't want to do that. And then compare this amount to the serving size listed on the package. A lot of it, like I used to eat mini wheats. It says, 3/4 of a cup, but they're angular. They're not squishy, so you can't put a whole lot of. So I ended up weighing it. It's like one serving is like very little. It's like, ugh. Like the mini bites, there's like 20 of them. It's like that barely fills the bottom of your bowl. It's like, I want more. Look at the number of calories per serving. The number of servings you eat determines the number of calories you eat. For example, take a look at the label listed. They listed, sample label of macaroni and cheese. Yeah. Yeah, I love macaroni and cheese. If you ate the entire package of macaroni and cheese, you'd be eating 2 servings at 500 calories total. That's because there are 250 calories per serving and 2 servings listed in the example. Pay attention to the amount of fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium listed on the label. And you'll learn more about that in the next chapter. Eating too much of these nutrients can increase your risk for certain chronic diseases, so moderation is important. Including adequate amounts of dietary fiber, vitamin A, C, calcium, and iron in your diet can improve health and reduce the risks of some diseases. And note that that used after the heading, the asterisk used at this heading, percent daily value on the label. It refers to the footnote in the lower part of the label, which tells you percent daily values based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Diet values are recommended levels of intake. Your daily values may be higher or lower depending on how many calories you eat. Less than 5%, the daily value is low, and 20% daily value or more is high. For example, you can see that in the label listed on the next page, the food is high in sodium, which is bad for all of us. And I believe this was printed in 2013. I believe since then they've changed, the USDA or FDA or whatever changed the way what has to be reported. Then that goes to carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, and that's Yeah, the carbs, they go through that. The stuff the terms for added sweeteners, which is a big one, because you reading the ingredients labels, some of these things you wouldn't think was a sweetener, but it is. And some of these I've never heard of. Added sweeteners are brown rice syrup, brown sugar, concentrated fruit juice sweetener. This is for added sweetener. I mean, there's some of the stuff does not have added sweetener, but these that do. Corn syrup, and if you can't have corn, you can't have anything made with corn syrup.
I just read this, and guess
Huh?
what? Guess what? My leader just hooked me on, and I just read. You're having me read the label and the ingredients. I'm not supposed to have high fructose corn syrup, and there it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Animal crackers.
Really?
Animal crackers. Yeah.
Wow.
And I just started eating them, and I'm not supposed to
Wow.
have them. 16
Yeah.
crackers are 120 calories, 2 grams of fat, 0 cholesterol, 105 milligrams of sodium.
That's high.
It is high, but
Because it's a cracker.
I don't eat that for a serving. I can't eat 16 animal crackers.
Yeah, you'd get dry mouth.
Yeah. So I figure you'd cut all this information at least in half.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so bad, but total carbohydrates, 24 grams.
Yep,
Oh,
almost
that's a
2
lot.
carbs.
That's a lot
That's
of grams of
That's 2
carbs.
servings of bread if I eat 16 of them.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I need to watch out for that.
Yep. Yep.
I think I'll stick with my popcorn for popcorn.
Yeah, that's a whole grain. Just eat your popcorn. Just don't put anything on it, which is, yeah, a little bland. But dextrose, fructose, glucose, granulated sugar, high fructose corn syrup, honey, invert sugar, lactose, levulose, maltose, maple sugar, molasses, natural sweeteners, raw sugar, sucrose, turbinado sugar, and white sugar. And these are all lists of added sweeteners you can find on labels if they, unless they say no added sugars, but you'd still see some of this stuff on the label. Simple sugars, you need to look out for those. They add unnecessary calories, like but the biggest problem I have is like sugar substitutes. They're not good for you either because they're chemicals. So, and then now that stuff you can't have. What is the high fructose corn syrup? I mean, this is stuff we grew up on, because everything was corn. Fructose is fruit sugar. The high fructose corn syrup is very high. It is very high, very, very distant, long lost, and very related, hardly related relative. Fructose is the naturally occurring sugar that gives fruit their delicious sweet flavor. High fructose corn syrup is made from corn, is when corn is treated with enzymes yielding a syrup much like glucose, which is rich in glucose. High fructose corn syrup is made up of glucose and fructose, just like sucrose is. But the ratio of fructose to glucose, tongue twister, is higher in HFCS than sucrose. Manufacturers like high fructose corn syrup because it blends more easily than sugar in most liquids. Obviously, since it's already liquid. Plus, it is much cheaper to manufacture than it is to harvest cane sugar or sugar beets. Has anybody had beet sugar? I haven't tried it. I've seen it on the stores shelves, but I haven't tried it yet. Food and beverages that rely on high fructose corn syrup are, as their primary sweetener, tend to be relatively low nutrient content. Think about all the other nutrient benefits you get from eating fruit: fiber, vitamins, water, etc. When you drink a beverage containing HFCS, face it, you didn't get much else but sugar and sugar's calories. While there are many theories that the contributions that HFCS makes to our expanding waistlines, there's no definite proof that it causes obesity. But it does make sense that individuals who consume foods and drinks loaded with HFCS contributing calories are probably overtaxing their daily calorie budget by eating and drinking less nutritious sources of empty calories, and that behavior will inevitably lead to weight gain. The bottom line, don't be afraid of fructose from fruit, but watch out for the high fructose corn syrup looking in other foods and beverages. And page 12, and they have a carbohydrate calculator. You go in with your calorie budget, and it says to if you're on a 1200 calorie, you should aim to eat 165 grams of carbs a day. 1800, 200 grams. 1500, 200 grams. 1800, 250 grams. 2000, 275 grams, and 2200, 305 grams of carbs. And then they have artificial sweeteners, complex carbs, and then use the prescription. Then it says choosing healthy carbohydrates. There's the majority of our carbs should come from 5 sources: fruits, grains, milk and yogurt, non-starchy veggies, which are raw vegetables, 1 cup of raw vegetables, half a cup if they're cooked, 6 ounces of plain fat-free yogurt. If it's not plain, you've got other stuff in there that you need to count in other exchanges. The plain fat-free yogurt has 12 grams of carbs per serving. Please note that cheese does not contain any carbohydrates. That's a protein. Non-starchy we did that. Legumes, half a cup of cooked or 1/4 cup of dry beans, peas, and lentils, 15 to 20 grams of carbs. You can also use the beans as a plant-based meat. That's up in my eye. Okay, every time you have a meal or snack, it's good to try to include some carb. If you aim to eat 3 meals and 2 snacks per day, consider spacing out your carbs throughout the day. Just read the labels in the packages or look online for carb content to start informing yourself of serving sizes and their carb count. And then they have a chart and how to space it. Like if you're a 1500 calorie, for breakfast, it recommends 50 grams of carbs, snack 25 carbs, lunch 50 carbs, evening snack 25 carbs, 25 grams of carbs, not carb exchanges. Dinner 50 grams of carbs, so would give you 200 grams of carbs for the day. And you're including your starches and starches and the fruits and vegetables in that carb count.
Can I interrupt you for a second, Joanne?
Yes.
Like, I know yourself and Tammy have lost a fair amount of weight. I don't know about Stella, but I know you guys have lost 80 plus, right? Like,
right.
Whatever. So when you were doing the exchanges, were you kind of doing this same kind of trying to eat grams for breakfast, so many for lunch, so many for supper? Or was it just as long as you got the exchanges in, you didn't really keep track?
I used the cards. I tried to do what My Day One does, and it laid it a sample of 2 carbs, 1 protein, one fruit stuff for breakfast. I tried to keep that, but if I skipped one, what my veggies would mostly be skipped. I try to pack it in to the lunch if I miss them. But I tried to keep it divided out because sometimes my biggest part was to eating just what was recommended is the milk, because I love yogurt. I really love yogurt. But I tried to keep it the way, but most likely these days I don't eat a whole lot of carbs for breakfast, so I bring it to lunch.
So Tammy, what did you do then? Because you've lost a lot, right? So
Yeah,
were you
I'm
trying
a very boring
to get the
person.
right exchange?
A very boring person, and I keep pretty much to the same meals every day. I don't really fluctuate from what I eat. I alternate my breakfasts. I will either have an egg with 2 pieces of toast, some fruit one morning. The next morning, my breakfast is a half a cup of yogurt, 1/3 cup of blueberries. I'll throw some, if I've got strawberries. I get all my fruits in the morning. I get my fruits over with in the morning. I'm not snacking in between meals. I get up. I do probably what you would consider intermittent fasting. I will get up in the morning and have my breakfast at 6:30. Eat my lunch at very set meal times, and I eat very little meat. I probably only take in 3 ounces of meat. That because I've got kidney disease and they limit that. But like for breakfast this morning, it was the yogurt. I had 3 or 4 chunks of watermelon. I had the green melon, whatever the green melon is. I had the orange melon. So just like a third, I don't really go by the exchanges anymore. I eyeball it, just like 3 or 4 chunks of each fruit, when
Mhm.
the melons. I don't really go overboard on the melons because they're so sweet, but I mean, that would be my breakfast. I'll throw in, if I get hungry during the day, I'll throw in a hard-boiled egg in there, and for protein and energy. My snack is a hard-boiled egg. I'm not a sweet person. I can't be a sweet person. That's how I gained all my weight. I worked for Wendy's restaurant for 9 years, and I ate all those hamburgers and fried chicken, and I eat only fresh meats, nothing processed. I spend a lot of my time cutting and preparing, and I have to make things ahead of time. If I don't, I fall off the program, and it's, you find yourself reaching for quick fixes, and it doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
What else can I tell you? So 6:30, 10:30, I'm looking for lunch. By 4 o'clock, I'm eating dinner, and I'm done for the night. I will have some popcorn for a snack at night before.
So basically you fast for like 12 hours.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Which gives you your metabolism a chance to reset.
And my biggest meal, I would say my breakfast is my biggest meal,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to eat a larger lunch instead of having a lighter meal at dinner time. If I do get hungry, I need to realize I've already eaten my calories, and I'll drink, because it's so important to get your water in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
even the other day, I was like, I thought I was ravenous. I wasn't ravenous. I was thirsty. I hadn't drank anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And just to know when you've reached that limit with your exchanges, that's you're done. And I mean, if you've got to have a snack, I reach for, like You can have like 3 cups of air pop popcorn.
Mhm.
What one bread exchange.
And that's a lot. That's very filling.
I can't even eat that much.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
way
but
too much.
again, like popcorn, like I know it's a good choice, but if I eat popcorn at night, the next morning when I test my blood sugar,
Yeah.
Mm.
really high because that popcorn has converted to sugar
Yes, because the
overnight.
whole grain. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's
So,
see.
like, I mean, it works for you.
Right.
It does because I have always been a person that will burn her sugar. I,
Okay.
I've, everybody's different. I burn sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult because you can pick up bits and pieces from people, but ultimately you have to find what is gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm always interested to know
Right.
what people do because
I mean, I
oh,
used to eat constantly. I used to eat nonstop, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like for me to be able to go the 12 hours and not eat anything is, I mean, I had a habit of eating at 2 a.m. in the morning and reaching for food at 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't do that anymore because my
That's
meals are
good.
balanced.
yeah.
When you eat a balanced meal,
Yeah.
um, you're not reaching for that stuff at night.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Especially if you have problems with the blood sugar. Yeah. I mean, the exchange program is basically based on the diabetic food exchange. So
So
you just,
I was a pre I am a pre-diabetic, and I don't know how people. I don't know, and I personally would probably not do well if I had to follow, um, if I had to go on insulin. I the science that goes into that, knowing, you know what foods make your levels go up and down. I don't think I could even comprehend it.
yeah, it's hard.
And I just had that conversation with my doctor. I am on meds that predisposes me to diabetes, and I said, let's not let that happen because
Yep.
I won't be able to manage it.
Yep. It takes a strong person to be able to maintain it correctly.
It does.
Yeah. But any other
So
questions?
do you find that so you find yours spikes the next day? It doesn't spike right away?
It will go the next day for popcorn because I'll eat it in the evening, right? Because I'm looking for something. So I just have to,
So
like I
what could
said,
you reach for instead?
I have
What
to be
would be
careful. Fruit has a lot of sugar in it,
Right.
right? So again, like you said, water is often what we need and we don't think we need. So
Right.
yeah.
if I have a couple waters, I can see if I'm really still. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times it's not. I'm not hungry. I want to eat something. I feel sorry for myself, right?
Yeah.
So
We call you're peckish. It's like you want a peck of foods.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
So I have kidney stones too. So I had to learn a way to drink my water instead of just drinking it like just I was drinking water just to drink it. And I've always been a person. My daughter told me they're telling you to drink more water. I've never seen anybody drink as much water as you do. I've always got a glass of water in front of me, but it wasn't helping my kidney stone situation. So I was told drink a glass of water, 8 ounces before. This has helped my weight loss. I'll tell you, this has helped my weight loss. But it is what it does is cut down how much calcium oxalate I take in my body with food because calcium oxalate is in all foods, um, plant, plant, plant. All foods is calcium oxalate in. So I'll drink a glass of water. I was told drink your water a glass before you eat your meal
Right back.
drink another glass after you drink your meal.
Well,
So it's a different way of drinking.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, but it fills you up, and you can get those portions lower. I find
Stella,
that
you're
I'm not eating as many big portions.
Stella, you're a cops?
Yes,
Okay. For a long, how long have you been a cops for?
February will be 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Wow.
And how do you do it?
I pretty much just know what I can eat. It's been a long time, so I pretty much know when I've overdone it or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I am trying to count calories to get a little bit more on track.
Mm. Mm. Oh, and the only thing I drink is water. I don't drink anything else but water. I used to drink 3 cups of coffee a day, and I used to put the cremora, which is a sweetener, and I would put 3 teaspoons of sugar. So
Yeah, so
I changed my lifestyle so much.
Okay, and a morning. Okay. Crossing guard thing. Okay, let's finish this up real quick. This is also to figure out your fiber too. I know my doctor recommends 25 grams of fiber a day, and lately I have been because fiber is, if you're losing weight, fiber is your friend. If it takes longer to digest. Fiber also has other benefits for heart health, your blood sugar. It helps. Dietary fiber helps maintain steady blood sugar levels. It's also intestinal health. I've got GERD, and the fiber is my friend. In weight management, it bears repeating. Fiber promotes satiety, and it makes you feel full, and it helps you prevent overeating. Dietary fiber is found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Good rule of thumb is to choose bread, cereals, tortillas, bran muffins, pasta, and grains that have 3 grams of dietary fiber or more for 15 grams of carbs, which is roughly 100 calories serving. And what else they about? And talk about whole grain. The whole grain. Give yourself a whole grain challenge. Select a whole grain from. They have a list that you've never tried. Look at this grain at your local grocery store, bulk food outlet, health food shop, or ethnic market, or search online for whole and ancient grains. Find a recipe that uses it and try it at home. You'll be surprised how quickly you learn to love the versatility of whole grains. Here, the list of whole grains, they include arameth, barley. Like arameth, I've only ever seen it at a health food store. Barley, buckwheat, brown rice, corn, including cornmeal and popcorn, millet, oats, including oatmeal. Beware of the oatmeal that are prepackaged and flavored. You got to count other stuff in there too. It's not just oatmeal. Wheat comes in many forms: spelt, Elmer, farro, incorn, kimot, durum, bulgur, cracked wheat, wheat berries, quinoa, rye, sorghum, which is also milo, telf, chocolate, wild rice, and whole wheat pasta. Anybody ever tried whole wheat pasta? When it first came out, it was very, very dry, and I haven't tried it since.
Don't like it.
Yeah. I've tried Dreamfield. It's good because I don't count net carbs, but when it has a low net carbs, I look at it and they got a high fiber content, which is always good. And they go on to the protein calculator. It says healthy weight needs at least 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You can figure it out on this. Basically, divide your weight by 2.2, and then take the result and times by 0.8, and that's how many grams. Don't forget, one exchange is 7 grams of 7 grams of protein. But if you're doing plant-based protein like peanut butter, has very little grams of protein in it, but it's still a tablespoon is at one exchange, even though it doesn't have the 7 grams, because plant and animal base are calculated differently. And what else does it go to?
I gotta go, guys.
Okay, bye. And then it says protein content of food groups. Grains has 2 to 3 grams of protein per serving. Vegetables, 2 to 3 grams of protein. Fruits and oils have less than a gram. Milk has 8 to 10 grams of protein, and meats and beans, a protein serving has 8 grams. Just the vegetables, the plant-based protein, it says 2 to 3 grams, which is the cashew butter has 2 to 3 grams of protein in 1 serving. And it even goes about vegetarian plans. And then even Bernie shows up saying, remember to fill out your nutrition prescription to using this chapter. And then it has fat and saturated fat calculators. And then they have a part for decoding the labels. They go to micronutrients or fat-soluble vitamins. They'll go through that, because we're always looking into that. We need to have our vitamins throughout the day, whether it's in prescription, pill, or in our foods. It also has a sodium calculator determining based on your ethnicity too, because like it says, the calculator says if you're an African American or age 51 and older, which 51 and older is here, or have hypertension, diabetes, and chronic kidney disease, you should have less than 15 milligrams of sodium. To me, that's a little high, but then if you're reading labels, a lot of things, even your meats, are high in sodium. Especially if they have it has nitrates in it, lots of sodium. And then if you're 50 or younger, you can have up to 22 milligrams of sodium. And to me, sodium is high. I'm finding a lot of labels, lots of salt in most everything. And you can also make your own salt-free seasoning, which is, they have a recipe here. It's garlic powder, paprika, dried thyme, dried mustard, onion powder, cracked pepper, black pepper, and celery seed, which is really good. Like I have several, there's several labels out there that have salt-free seasonings combinations out there. And they also want you to calculate your calcium calculator. It says, and then, okay, for 51 to 70 female, you need at least 1,200 milligrams a day of calcium. I don't think I've ever gotten that much. Well, unless I drink a lot of yogurt, I don't get a whole lot of calcium because I don't drink milk. And you can also, it also tells you whether you should have a dietary supplement, but it also talks about water, which is the most important part. Water is the most abundant substance in the human body and is essential for life. Your body is made up about 60% water. So if your weight 200 pounds, 220 pounds is water. Water plays many roles in your body. It serves as a lubricant and cleanser. Think about how your tears wash away dirt. Water is a component of synovial fluid, which lubricates your joints. It is a part of your saliva that helps you chew with chewing, tasting, and swallowing. Water helps protect your body against shock as the primary component of spinal fluid, and it helps regulate your body's temperature. Your water balance is determined on what you take in and what you put out. The water you take in comes from the fluid you drink, the foods you eat, like watermelon is mostly water, and a tiny bit of metabolic processes of the body. The water you put out is in the form of urine, feces, and evaporation, sweat. There are no scientifically proven ways to estimate individual water needs. The best estimation is simply to observe the color of your urine. If your urine is clear and light yellow, you're well hydrated. If your urine color is dark and orange and smells pungent, you are dehydrated. The hypothalamus is the part of your brain that controls hunger and thirst. Often when we think we are hungry, we're actually thirsty. When we have unplanned urges to eat, drink a large glass of water and make yourself wait 10 minutes before eating may actually satisfy you. Feeling thirsty is a sign of your body's already dehydrated. Aim to drink enough water each day to prevent thirst instead of waiting to eat until you're parched. I found this on Amazon. It has it basically says drink 8 ounces of water a day. That gives you, well, one of these is for morning, which is 32 ounces. And then after refill it for 2 p.m. And it gives you 64 ounces. Me, I don't need that much, or the first 2 days I was able to do it, but it reminds you, just drink. And I'm not thirsty, but I'll still drink it because my grandson keeps saying, you're behind. So it helps as a reminder to actually drink my water. So it helps. Then they talk about alcohol. You can have it, but you gotta remember moderation and gotta count those carbs. Any questions? Any questions? Any non-scale victories or any victories this week?
I do
Go
have
ahead.
just a really quick question for you.
Yes.
You talked about yogurt and Greek yogurt. Are you counting your Greek yogurt as a protein then? No dairy at all, right?
Let me go into the milk. Let me go into
Because I've always counted it like a protein. 'Cause Greek yogurt has protein, but
to the milk. Okay, so it says,
what page are you?
I am on 46 and 47. Milk exchanges have 12 grams of carbs and 8 protein. Let me see. I've always done low fat. And then let me see if it talks about. Let me see if it. I know it says Greek yogurt somewhere.
So I'd have to look at the label, right?
Right. They might put it. Greek yogurt, basically it's drained enough so that less whey in it. Let me see if there.
Because my Greek yogurt has no fat in it, and it's 100 calories.
Right.
So would it be like a fat-free dairy then?
It would still be a milk exchange. It would still be a milk exchange. I know somewhere.
Like I'm looking at the label here, Joanne, and it says for 3/4 of a cup is 100 calories and 0 grams of fat.
It's
And very little
thirds of
carbs.
only 6 ounces. It's not a 1 cup. You do 6 ounces, or 2/3 of a cup is an exchange. Let me get my cards and see if it does.
At the top of page 46, it says it actually categorized either as meat or meat substitutes or as fat.
Yeah, for reduced yogurt plain, it always, I mean, Greek yogurt does not have, it's non-fat, right? It's to still be 2/3 of a cup, because it will have a milk exchange has 12 carbs, 8 grams of protein, and 0 to 8 grams of fat. So it would still be 2/3 of a cup would be a milk exchange. So it wouldn't be it would not be included in your meat.
Yeah, but this one only has 6 grams of carbs.
That's okay.
and 17 grams of protein. So like, it's way higher than a milk exchange for
Right.
protein.
But for 1 cup, you want to do 2/3 of a cup. So it could be, yeah,
I thought I heard one time it could be either a protein or a dairy. I'm not sure that's right, but I think I heard that one time.
Like, I know we're not nutritionalists, but when I'm looking at this page 46, a milk one has 8 grams of protein and 12 carbs. But this one here has 6 carbs and 17 protein. So it's like double the amount of protein that a milk would have. That's why I've always counted as a protein.
I know they talk about I have to, I think it's Diana Dees that was, that has done exchanges. We could ask that on one of the TOPS forms, but I always did, I mean, I don't eat the yogurt, I mean, the Greek yogurt, but, I would just keep, if you do 2/3 of a cup, you have, how many grams of carbs do you have? I mean, the protein.
The
And that-
protein is high. It's 17 grams for 3/4 of a cup. That's a lot of protein. And no fat, but it's got 100 calories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean,
I don't know.
you could have anywhere between 100 calories and 160 calories for a milk. But I know somewhere it talks about Greek yogurt in here. I'll have to check on the website, but I would say if do the 8, do to 2/3 of a cup, not the 3. It was 3/4 of a serving of a cup for serving that. Go figure out what it would be for 2/3 of a cup, which is for the yogurt, which is 6 ounces, and you might have to do a milk and a half, a milk and a quarter. But it's 2/3, 0.66 divided by 0.7. That'd be times 18. So it would have 16. It would have, so it'd have be basically 2 milks because it would have 2/3 of a cup would have 16 grams of protein. So it'd be 2 milks, according to what your label says.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but if it has 2, okay, that's great for the protein, but 2 milks would be 24 carbs, right? And
Yeah.
this one here.
You can have up,
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's way off. Like, you know, like, I can see what you're saying. If 8
Right.
grams of protein is 1 milk,
right.
then, but this is,
I think this would be a great question to go put on to the exchange, the exchange lifestyle Facebook group. Tina might have a answer for that. She's her and any of the,
so,
she would know. She would know. I'm
okay,
pretty sure, but I just can't seem to locate
I'm
it.
gonna
So
take a picture of the label and I'll post it in there. And
yes,
then I'll say, listen, I'm really confused because I'm not a milk person, but this fills me up more because it's got protein in it.
right,
So I can put a little bit of maple syrup in it because it's just the plain, it's not the vanilla. So
Right.
it's pretty blah. So then I'll put maple syrup in it and a fruit and 2 walnuts for a fat, like 2 halves. I
right,
mean. And then it keeps me going, whereas yogurt doesn't do anything for me.
right. Yeah, it might end up. You just have to count it as a protein, but I would be very interested in what they figure out because that's a conundrum. We don't know what. So, but okay. Any
Carry
other,
on. Finish up, yeah.
yeah, any other questions? No victories this week? My meeting had a no gain meeting last week. Before the 2 meetings ago, we had a no loss meeting, and we made up for it at the no gain meeting this week. So we did good. That felt good. So okay, we can close with the never quit pledge. Today I promise I will not quit. I pledge that no matter how many ups and downs I pass through, I will continue on my journey. I pledge to make a new start today. I forgive myself for my past and to stop being so critical of myself. I pledge to take control of myself, to stop making excuses, stop blaming other people and situations. I pledge to treat myself as I would my best friend because that's who I am. I pledge to stay in the race and to be a winner. So, okay, hopefully I'll see some of you on Wednesday, and then we will be doing the next chapter, chapter 2, which is picking your plan. So, see you guys later.
See you
Thanks.
later. Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.